All right, family, how are you guys doing? It's been long since from henceforth, we are going to be, I'm going to be coming live so that we can discuss more lively. You know, it's just that these days I've really been having some other stuff that have been disturbing me from coming live. That is just the issue. But from now, I'm always going to, whenever I'm about to come live, I'll announce it on the community post, so you guys should be aware. And I'm going to give you guys the time, say the time in which I'll be live, West/Central African time, so that you guys can catch up with the live. So in today's video, I want us to discuss, as you all can see from the title, which says, can the diaspora get jobs in Africa? Like, as how we want to unite, as how the diaspora wants to come to Africa. Can maybe a diaspora come to Africa and say, okay, I'm going to Africa, I'm going to get a job there, I'm going to apply for a job there, and start working, and do whatever I want to do there in the motherland. So that is the question. Is that possible? That is what we are going to be discussing today in this video. Some more. You know, jobs in Africa, there are actually jobs in Africa. All right. Yep, I know some people might be asking, but if there are jobs in Africa, then why are continental Africans coming to Europe, coming to America, going to other places? And that is the reason why I'm about to tell you right now. It is not every African that have the wish to come to Europe or to come to the US, right? It's not every African, especially if they have something doing here. What is the reason? So now, most of the cases why you are seeing our brothers and sisters from the continent who leave the continent and try to look for greener pastures elsewhere, yes, some of them might tell you that is because there is no job. All right. And the sentence "there is no job" can come in many forms. There is no job because there is tribalism. All right. Maybe if I go to submit my applications, if I go to submit my applications, it is going to be rejected because I am not the same tribe with the person, or with the person that is owning the company, with the person that is issuing the job. So you see, when they say there is no job in Africa, it does not necessarily mean that there is no job at all. No, there are actually jobs here in Africa. And the second reason why they might not get jobs, why we might not get jobs as Africans, and the reason why we are traveling, going to other places, is because maybe we don't have the rightful connection. Because let me tell you something. And me, I am someone that I love to tell you as it is. All right, I will tell you what is happening, the jobs in Africa. I'm going to be explaining everything to you guys, so that you guys can really understand why Africans are leaving the continent, that there is plenty of resources, there is plenty of things here in the continent, and they are moving out. And I just give the first reason: tribalism. Tribalism is one of the reasons why our brothers and sisters will leave the continent, because they will go and apply for job, they will have all the certificates, they will go to school, be educated, but when they go to the point where they want to apply for a job, they will ask you a question. Maybe the person that is doing the job interview will ask you a question from his or her native tongue. So if you are unable to respond to the question, he or she will just know that this person, you are not from my tribe. Sorry. Or they will take your CV or your documents and they will tell you You can come the next day. We'll think about it. As you are leaving, that is all. Bye bye. There is nothing. There is no job. So that is the first reason. And as diasporans who wants to come to the continent, you are going to experience the same issue. You are going to experience the same tribalism. But even though in this age now, the tribalism issue has reduced compared to in those days, because in those days it was wide open. People were doing tribalism wide open here in Africa, and that is a major reason why our African economy has been killed because of this tribalism issue. So as diasporans coming into the continent, you guys, this is the number one thing that you are going to experience, and I don't want it to discourage you. All right, I don't want it to discourage you. Maybe you might say, even if I go to the motherland, there will be tribalism there. I might not be able to establish myself. I might not be able to do businesses there in the continent. I don't want it to discourage you. All right, we are trying to solve, and that is why, if you guys have been watching the news, you have been seeing coups that have been happening in the continent, because there is a change. The continent is taking a drastic change of events. So now, what is the second thing that you are going to experience as the diaspora? The difficulty that you are going to experience, like trying to get a job here in Africa. I tried to talk about connections too. You might not get a job because you don't have the rightful connections. Tribalism, connections. It maybe if you don't have a family member that is sitting at the top right positions in the government, you are not going to get a job, because that person sitting at that top will not take any other person rather than his or her her own relatives. So even if his or her relatives are not qualified, or they don't have the certificates or the qualification to do the job, they will still just take them and put them there. They should make that illegal to use those questions in an interview. Well, they have, how can I even put this thing? Africa, most African economies here in the continent is corrupt. All right, most African economies is corrupt from right from the bottom right to the top. Most of the economies here are corrupt, so it's going to be very, very difficult for even if they pass a law, since in as much as the people at the top are still doing the same thing, are still doing the same corruption stuff, it is still going to continue. And that is why the world is seeing coups happening everywhere in Africa. Burkina Faso has had a coup, Niger has had a coup, Guinea has had a coup, Mali. So there is a lot of things going on. It's not only about maybe the European powers. We Africans, even after we finish kicking out the Europeans, we need to deal with ourselves. There is a lot of change that we need to do within among ourselves, and that is why we need to be united. We need to be united. The diaspora, Africans, we need to be united, because together we can achieve so many things together as one people. We can achieve so many things together as one people. So these are some of the difficulties that you are going to face while opening a job. And then secondly, let me talk about the business section. If you want to come and open business section in the continent, I'm telling you all this so that you guys should be aware. You guys should be aware of if you are coming to the continent, because I like to talk about the good side and the bad side. Okay, so that you guys should be aware. So if you want to open up a business in the continent, be ready to issue out something like bribe or stuff like that. Because like I said, there are some offices, maybe if you want to do the documents that is going to legalize your business, you are going to pass through some offices. here in the continent, and which from there they are going to ask, some additional bribe stuff that they are going to ask there in the continent. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Well, if you did not give them the bribe, they are simply not going to give you what you want. Then they're not going to give you what you want. They will just tell you, okay, because there is a normal way, there is a normal procedure on how you can carry out your documents. There is a normal procedure, but they are going to ask, like, if you go and meet maybe the person that's supposed to put the stamp on your document that has the finance here, will say, okay, the government has recognized this business in this place here in the country. The person that is putting the stamp, you do the normal procedure, but the person is still going to ask for bribe from you. And even if you refuse, maybe if you tell the person, but I've already done all the normal procedures, why are you still asking me for money or for bribe? The person will not give you what you want. And that is one of the reasons why our brothers and sisters from the continent are leaving the continent. So you see, it is not just about there is no job, all right, or there is. That's why I said we need a change. A change, something needs to be done in the continent. So there are jobs, but they are not being issued out to the youths because, like I said, tribalism, bribery and corruption, connections. These are the things that I am listing so that you guys should be able to, you know, understand what is really happening here. So if you are seeing most of our brothers and sisters there in the US, in Europe, it's not as if Africa they cannot have job in the continent. They can have. All right. But even though presently now it is trying to change, all right, things are trying to change in a way in the good of the African economy. Things are trying to change. Even though to an extent I might say that it is because of some of the puppet leaders that we are having that control us, that is, you know, that fuels up all these things that is happening in the continent. So I don't want you all to be discouraged. All right, I don't want our family from the diaspora to be discouraged, because in everywhere you go, you are always going to find some shortcomings. All right, everywhere you go, you are always going to find some shortcomings. But the only difference that makes is that this motherland is your motherland. All right, you are the son, you have the blood of the motherland running in your veins. So that is the difference. That is what makes the difference. If it was not what happened to the slave trade times, your ancestors could have still been here, and we could have still been here in the continent. So that is what I said. Let me share to you guys today concerning this jobs issue. That's what I said. Let me share with you guys. And there is a lot more. There is a lot more going on in the continent. There was a lot more going on in the continent, and it's just for you guys to come and do the needful. And that is why you see even the Chinese are here, and I'm going to be doing a video on that. I've already recorded some footage on the video. You see the Chinese that are in the continent, they will come to the continent, they will say, I want to open up a business, because they are really making profit here in the continent. They are really so they don't even care if they want to collect bribe from them. They just know that once they have passed all that stages, they are in short, what they are thinking is the profit that they are going to be making. So that is why you see, even if the economy or the government or whatsoever is asking for bribe from them, they are going to do it for them to establish what they want to establish here in the continent. Once they have established what they want to establish here in the continent, that's it. They will start making out their profit, and that is the same mindset I want our brothers and sisters from the diaspora to have. All right, just bypass the obstacles and establish, and you have more rights. That is why the president of Ghana has issued the diaspora a way in which they can come to the continent, even though some other countries have not yet said that, like my country Cameroon have not yet said that, but I know with time they are going to pass the same um, law to the diaspora that they can freely come to Cameroon and own lands and start up their businesses. That's it. So instead of our people to be somewhere that they are not being accepted, they are not being they are treated. No, you see, Africans. That's why you see Africans to an continental Africans to an extent, they don't really care about some certain things. All right, and there was a video that I did when I was talking about the Africans that are going to Europe and America. They know their country is like that. They know their motherland is like that. So when they go that side, they don't just go there to work their money and then just live their entire lives. They know every penny that they work, they send it back to open up investment in the motherland. That is what they do. If you're having an African friend, you can ask him or her. He's going to confirm what I am saying today in this live right now. So when they go to America, every morning that they work, matter of fact, before they even leave here to go to Europe or to go to the US, some of them already have they already have lands. So they are thinking, since as the country don't want to give me a job for me to start doing things and start opening up my investment, let me look for a different means. Maybe I will go to Europe. Immediately when I get to Europe, I'm going to plan myself. Maybe within the period of 1-2 years, I know that I've raised this amount of money which can carry out this project, this kind of project. So that most Africans, that is how they calculate, even if before they want to leave the continent. So when they get to the US, they start working their money, they are sending it back to the continent. You see, some of them will start putting foundations, start building up their houses. Some of them will open up businesses worth millions of whatsoever their currency is in the country. So my main issue for the diaspora is that you guys need to do exactly like how our brothers from the continent are doing. All right, don't just bypass the obstacles. Just bypass the obstacles and come to the continent. You are really going to like it. All right, that is why even some of the celebrities that have been here, Mr. Samuel L. Jackson, Mr. Steve Harvey, most of the celebrities that have come here, you see, they themselves will testify. They will even Mr. Steve Harvey is having a show. I'm sure it's in Ghana or South Africa like that. He's having a show and many other businesses that he has established here in the continent. So this is the message that I said, let me pass to you guys today across the live. So I really do appreciate you all that are participating in the live today, and I wish I'm going to be coming live. I'm going to be doing live, and whenever I want to do live, I'm going to announce it on the community post tab. All right, and I'll tell you the time that I'm going to be doing the live. I'll give you the time, West/Central African time, so you guys should be aware whenever I'm live, so that we can come live and talk as we have done today. So I want to really appreciate you guys for being part of the live show. I think that will be the end of this live today. And immediately as this live, as I'm ending this live, I'm going to be doing a video. I'm going to upload a video. So I'm going to see you guys. Thank you very much for participating.